Good morning, freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. How y'all doing this wonderful Sunday morning? It is Sunday, August 11th, 2024. It's kind of hot, but I'm out here getting it regardless. Out here getting it in. Just got through doing 27 rounds of Muay Thai on Muay Thai drills on the heavy bag. You know what I'm saying? Using some of Jeff Chan from MMA Shredded's instruction. You know what I'm saying? Follow along workouts. I don't know why this screen be doing this, man. Just fucking retarded. Fucking iPhones. Anyway, how y'all doing this morning? I wanted to do this live stream to touch on a couple things, man. A couple things that are very important in the world today. Really it's one thing, but I wanted to highlight Queen's Throne. You know what I'm saying? She's a YouTuber. I've known her for quite a while. I think since around, I want to say 2017, 2018, since we were both moderators for Hassan Campbell. That's where we got to know each other. You know what I'm saying? I've been rocking with her for a long time. So, that's my girl. And what she does on her channel is basically highlight abuse to children, right? She highlights and follows and, chronicles child abuse, child trafficking, pedophilia committed by, celebrities and other YouTubers like Brother Polite, Brother Holite, Brother No Light, Nature Boy. She covers multiple predators within the black community, the Black Hotep community, to shed light on the reality that we have to deal with as a people. She also has exposed Sa Neter for supporting and uplifting these predators. Not just Brother Polite and Nature Girl, but also Sinful to P. May he rest in dog shit, because he's dead. And he was a piece of dog shit. He was a convicted sex offender. He was a pimp who got a 14-year-old girl pregnant and pled guilty to it. He took a plea deal to get a lesser sentence, but nonetheless, he pled guilty to the sexual abuse of a 14-year-old girl who he got pregnant. Got this young lady pregnant, pimped her out, and all kind of silly shit. Trey Titan was good. Trey Titan 176, and Queen's Throne has done a lot of work on her multiple channels. All these channels get attacked. She always gets shadow banned because of the things that she talks about. Alfred Kinsey, the sex doctor who used PDF files to do things to children to try to get pleasure out of them and all this silly shit, studying the pleasure of children and all this type of shit. Basically trying to say that children can feel the same level of pleasure and they should be able to by grown-ass men and women. Just sick shit. Sick shit that she highlights. She's covered multiple court cases involving these type of situations. And so I urge you guys, now her channel is, is bigger than mine. She doesn't really need me to necessarily highlight her channel, but I just wanted to do it because, you know, I want to give the young lady her flowers. I want to give the beautiful queen her flowers, you know, while she's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And she constantly gets attacked by the supporters of these sick motherfuckers, the supporters of the Sinful to Peas and the Brother Holites and the Nature Boys, Nature Girls, and so many countless others that she has brought evidence and receipts to back up her claims. Evidence and receipts, very important components to proving your case. Proving your case. She has done that. She's also covered government conspiracies. She covered the Las Vegas shooting, you know what I'm saying, where the old boy used a bump stock to carry out his attacks. And she covered it so well that you had no choice but to realize there were multiple shooters at that Las Vegas concert. You know what I'm saying? Not just the guy in the window from so many stories up, who somehow removed the window, because you can't open those windows. He somehow removed the window. Anyway, y'all need to go check it out. But they took that down. They took down a lot of her videos, a lot of her live streams where she's covering these things. So I'm just gonna say I'm glad I was able to see a lot of it before they did that. You know, she's done so many great things that she needs to be big upped and supported for. You know what I'm saying? Go donate to her channel. She can't monetize them, but she can take. I don't remember what. She might do PayPal, Cash Apps. It's on her video, so you know. And she does a lot of extensive research, and she works full time. So, you know, she is dedicated like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Dedicated like a motherfucker because, you know, just because she's just a good person at heart like that and care about these children and these victims, and also because she was a victim herself. You know what I'm saying? So go check her out. Right now, her latest video, she covers Nature Boy getting stabbed and some of the crazy shit Nature Boy has said on Sinetta's channel. Some of the crazy shit he said during his own live streams where he's talking about letting his son play with his penis while after he has sex with his girlfriend or whatever. Like, his dude is just a sick motherfucker. And go check her out. Go check out her channel. Queen's Throne. No apostrophe before the S. Just Queen's Throne. So shout out to her. She's dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, moving on. Let's talk about Nature Boy. Nature Boy, if you guys don't know, he is a Hotep two-stepper. All right. What is a Hotep two-stepper? Well, I use that term to describe people, black people, who pretend to be pro-black and all this, that, and the third, for the people and all wokety woke and, you know, oh, I'm woke, stay woke. But really, what they're doing is they're abusing their power, the power of the influence they have. They're abusing it, and they abuse the people that follow them. They abuse the people that support them in many different ways. They lie, they steal, they scam, right? They physically and mentally abuse, right? Nature Boy is the perfect example of a Hotep two-stepper. You understand what I'm talking about? So he'll use his gift of gab to draw people in. You know what I'm saying? He formed a cult, essentially, out there in South America, in multiple countries in South America. He was kicked out of multiple countries for doing stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? People have died under his watch while joining his cult, while being a part of his cult. and following his doctrine, you know what I'm saying, using the Dr. Sebi diet, you know, just these people go into a state of malnutrition that is ultimately ridiculous. You can, if you look at Nature Boy and look at his physical stature while he's out there in South America after a couple years of following that diet and doing what they're doing, dude looks just mad soft and malnutrition, and you know what I'm saying? And it just, all the people there, they look depleted of energy, depleted of all kinds of things. So Nature Boy is a villain of many different masks, right? He is a multifaceted villain. He is a sexual abuser, a child sexual abuser, a woman beater, a manipulator, a scammer. He'll have people to come to his little cult farm and all this other shit and give him money. You know, he encourages people to scam that are a part of his cult. He encourages silly behavior, but he'll justify it by talking about spiritual things, spiritual downloads, meditation, like really good things. He'll use really good things, right, that he don't really believe in, to draw people in and snare them in his web of lies and just danger, right? He's a dangerous motherfucker. These are dangerous motherfuckers. And these are the type of dudes I was talking about a few days ago that people are groupies for. You know what I'm saying? This is exactly what I was talking about. So what ended up happening is Nature Boy had to come back to the United States because he keeps getting kicked out of these goddamn countries. Came back to the United States. I believe he moved to Atlanta and continued to do his cultish cult leader behavior. And, you know, ended up with 4 wives, and he had this chick or something that was part of his cult that he was abusing physically and sexually. Kidnapped her, forced her to, you know, stay where he wanted her to stay. So he had been hit with all these charges. This woman came forward, turned him in, and, you know, he basically ended up getting convicted. They went to trial. He got convicted of all these heinous things. If you want more details on it, go check out Queen Throne's channel. She gets into all that. You know what I'm saying? She has done the legwork and the research. So if you want details on that, go check her out. Find out who these people are that are in our community. Yes, and I'm talking about the black community. That's okay. That are in our community just using their charisma, right? These are bad people that use their charisma to manipulate people and to get them to do what they want them to do and basically be a part of their cult. You know what I'm saying? And when you speak out against them, or when you know, challenge their behavior, challenge their philosophy. Let me hold it up here because I need to straighten my spine out. You know, when it's down here, I'm looking down. Hold on. Gotta have good posture, y'all. And rucking helps with that. Just that if you're holding a phone, you just gotta remember to hold the phone up so that you can stand straight up. Anyway, so these are the type of people these people are. So they use them, you know, they use people for sexual gratification, monetary gain, you know, whatever they can use them for. It's the power they get from it. It is the power they get from it. It's all about power. Oh, that's good. It's just, you know, they get a sense of power from it. They get a kick out of it. You know what I'm saying? It's about power and sexual gratification. That's all they care about. You know, lining their pockets, having power, and sexual gratification. That's what these people are about. You know what I'm saying? So, but they'll do some good deeds, or they'll act like they'll do some good deeds to appear to be benevolent and to appear to be, you know, these people that are above it, and you know, you can't question them. So when they do these things, when they do things that people may think is noble, you can't challenge them without getting attacked by these groupies that don't think for themselves. And what is this going on here? What is this slimy shit? Oh, hell no. The hell is going on? Anyway. So this guy, Nature Boy, is one of those people. And, you know, he ended up getting convicted and now is serving a life sentence plus 10 years for, and the plus 10 years is for the false imprisonment, apparently. But he got life for everything else, as he should, as he should. So it turns out he ends up getting stabbed while in prison. And I believe it may have been superficial wounds because they said it was non-life threatening. Non-life threatening. So false alarm, the guy is going to live to see another day, although he should not. Although he should not. And what I really wanted to talk about in regards to this is really a question. Why do we allow these people to continue to live life in this realm when they have done something that was so heinous that a judge has to sentence the person to spend the rest of their life in prison without the possibility of parole? Life plus 10 years. That means that you can never leave. So if Nature Boy appeals it and ends, and fails the appeal, and he has to spend the rest of his life in prison, I don't see the fucking point. I don't see the fucking point. Why? And why do I have a problem with this? Why do I have a problem with this? Because who has to pay for this shit? Who has to pay to feed, house, you know what I'm saying, Nature Boy? Is there any amount of prison work that he can do that is going to recoup what the people have to pay for his life? You know what I'm saying? The people, are we going to recoup that? Well, I don't live in Georgia because he is in prison in Georgia, but the people of Georgia have to pay for this motherfucker to breathe air, to eat food, to use the utilities, right? Electricity, plumbing, all these things that cost money. Why is it that we allow these people to live 20, 30, 40 years, however long they live, in these prisons that have committed, these people committed a crime so horrible that they have been deemed not to be able to live within society, within a free society. If they can't live with, if you say that they've done something so bad that they can't live within a free society, why do they need to live? You know what I'm saying? I can understand. All right, you robbed somebody, you know what I'm saying, at gunpoint, you didn't hurt them, you just used the gun. Okay, give them 10, 15 years and allow them to try to rehabilitate them and release them back into society so that after they pay their debt, because they can contribute to society once again, right? They can come back out and contribute to society once again. They can, they can get extorted along with the rest of us. They can go to work and get their paycheck extorted like all of us. You know what I'm saying? But what use do we have for motherfuckers that R-word children and women and men, that mutilate people, you know what I'm saying, that does sick things to people that we know they can't be rehabilitated for, and that's why we give them life in prison? Why give them life in prison? What purpose do they serve in the world any longer? If you have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that these people have committed the crime that you accuse them of or you allege them to have done, and you have definitive ironclad proof, why do they need to live any longer? Especially murderers, right? You murder somebody in cold blood, you know, premeditatedly, you know what I'm saying, for whatever purpose, whatever the motive is, and they catch you and they have you dead to rights. You kill somebody. You kill somebody, not in self-defense, not on accident. You know what I'm saying? Not during a crime of passion, where you flipped out and you went too far. No, it was cold-blooded, premeditated, calculated murder, and you tried to cover it up, and you got caught. And there's just so much evidence against you, so much physical, circumstantial evidence against you that there's no way you're not going to be found guilty. Why are we letting these motherfuckers live? Why are we allowing them to spend 25 years in the prison system where we have to pay for these motherfuckers? Sunshine, what's good? No, we need to take their ass behind the woodshed and that. You know what I'm saying? Get them out of here. You know, you can spend 90 cents, 67 cents, whatever it costs today. 67 cents on one piece of metal in the back of the head. Medulla oblongata obliterated. And you saved the extortion victims hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. If we did that to every person that we put in prison for life, you know, we would, what kind of deficit would we be in? We would be in much less of a deficit. I'm just saying. Of course, you know, the justice system would have to change around that, right? If we made that decision as a people, as a society, all right, if we want these motherfuckers to spend life in prison, we might as well just off them. If they don't have any possibility of parole, then there's no reason for them to fucking be around anymore. And you have to change the system to where, you know, there has to be completely definitive proof, the completely definitive evidence that you committed that crime. You know what I'm saying? You know, because, you know, people can still plant evidence. They can frame you. You know what I'm saying? And so there needs to be a better system in place. Because it is life. It is something serious. You know? It's serious. And these are serious allegations. The allegations that can be leveled against you that would convince somebody to want to send you to life, to prison for life, or to have you executed. The serious allegations. Now, are there states where there are the death penalty? Yeah, but they let these motherfuckers live for 5 to 6, 7, 8, 9 years. Meanwhile, we're still paying for these motherfuckers. If they've been sentenced to execution, if they have the death penalty levied against them, why are we waiting years to perform the act? Why are we waiting years? That's ridiculous. We don't need to be paying. No more. No more of that. If you're a child diddler, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sunshine, or longer. If you're a child diddler, a lady R-worder, you know what I'm saying, a murderer, you know, a child abuser, to the degree where you're breaking bones and, you know, leaving bruises and damaging organs, stunting growth, you know, your children are malnutritioned, you know, all these things. You don't deserve life. Sorry. You don't deserve it. You need to be buried. You need to be a summary execution. That's how it should work. Hell, there are things in the military that if you're in the military and you violate the United States or the UMCJ, Uniform Code, UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. There are certain things in there that if you violate, they can give you a summary execution, and you didn't do anything nearly as bad as half these motherfuckers out here in the real world. These civilians, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy, the white dude that did this heinous act to a 6-year-old girl, or 6 or 16. I think she was 16 or 16-year-old girl by a dumpster. And he got probation because the judge didn't want to ruin his fucking life. You know what I'm saying? That type of shit. Are you serious? There should be a minimum for something like that. And if you're convicted and found to be guilty, there should be a mandatory. A judge should not be able to have the discretion to say, oh, no, we'll just give you probation. Are you fucking kidding me? Probation for doing that to a child? For being a pedophile? Yeah, and I know people are going to say, he's not a pedophile, it's an ephebophile, and fuck all that. A ephebophile, endomophile, whatever the fuck. It's a file of the wrong kind. You're a file of the wrong kind. You're the wrong file. You understand what I'm talking about? I don't give a fuck about those distinctions. The bottom line is, Eligio or whatever the fuck bishop should not be in the position, right, to get stabbed. Look at this shit, man. We pay HOA fees. Look at this shit. Right? Look at this shit. Just waiting for a tick to hop on my fucking skin. Oh, let's just invite the ticks. The fuck? Fucking HOAs for what? Let me tighten these straps up. And let's not forget that they get to write books and offer movie deals and all that. Yeah, that's true. And more likely than not, the families of the victims are put under gag orders and they get to be featured on TV shows. Well, I know that for Nature Boy, the judge said that he could not get book or movie deals. He cannot. So he's not allowed to do that. At least she did something right? At least she did that right. She did what was ever in her power to give him the maximum amount of punishment. But the system would not allow her to have him summarily executed. That's what needed to happen. Summary execution. Summary meaning immediately, right? Like, we're not playing games. So like I said, in the military, there are certain things you do that will get you a summary execution. Like being a deserter during wartime. Yeah, that's one such instance. That can get you killed. So like, you can get a summary execution for desertion. So like, say, even if you're not overseas in the war, like if you're back in garrison, back at the unit back on the base at home, and you decide to go AWOL, well, during wartime, AWOL equals desertion, and desertion can get you summarily executed. That means when they find you and they take you through the court martial, and the court martial finds that you're guilty, they can kill you immediately. Ain't no 3 hots in the cot. No. Summary execution. Immediately you dead. But fortunately, Sunshine, Nature Boy will not be able to get book deals and movie deals. The judge disallowed it, so it can't happen. Oh hell yeah, they can do it, Sunshine. They just don't do it. They don't do it, but they can. They don't do it because they don't want to be looked at in a bad light, right? Because it's a voluntary army. It's still a voluntary army right now. So they don't want to kill people for desertion because it'll not encourage people to join. But believe it, if there were a draft, you know what I'm saying, and people were forced to join the military, trust me, they would do it. They would do it. And those times may soon come. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit that might happen soon. Yeah. But yeah. I just want to get on here and touch on that real quick. Nature Boy, for those of y'all who know, got stabbed. Unfortunately, he survived. Unfortunately, it was probably just superficial wounds. And yeah, he'll live to see another day behind a jail cell where the people of Georgia have to pay for him to live. What do y'all think about these tropical storms? I'm getting tired of them. Well, I'm getting tired of the alerts. Anyway, I think I'm gonna get off of this, y'all, and rush back. What about Polite? I'm not sure. He only got 7 years. I didn't hear anything about him not being able to get book deals and movie deals. So it's all, in all likelihood, he can get a book deal or a movie deal. You know what I'm saying? He'll probably be able to do it. Not sure if you could have that stipulation tied to someone who is not doing life in prison. Because if he's just doing 7 years and getting out on probation, you know what I'm saying? And once he's done with probation, there's nothing to stop him from doing a book deal or a movie deal, right? But if you're doing life in prison, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Polite is locked up. Polite is locked up in Florida. Pedo Light, that's what I call him. Pedo Light is locked up in Florida. So yeah, he got 7 years plus 10 years probation. And he also has to, when he gets out, he has to go through treatment for his sexual deviancy, for his pedo ways. He has to go through treatment for that. And then once he does that, he doesn't have to register as a sex offender, unfortunately. So he was able to strike a deal to where if he does not violate probation, if he does not violate his prison time, and if he goes through that pedophile rehabilitation treatment, he is able to not be put on the registry. And he's able to have his sexual charge not be, you know, a child diddling sexual charge. It'll just be distribution of drugs to a minor and abuse, child abuse, but not child sexual abuse. Well, Jay with Open Eyes, Nature Boy told the world that he let his son play with his penis after he had sex with his girlfriend. So, and he talked about himself having been violated. He never actually, yes, there are those accusations, but what he went to jail for was for sexual abuse and kidnapping and false imprisonment of a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. And he did let a pedophile who talked about how he touched his sister while he was a grown man, some light-skinned dude, that when he was grown in his 20s, he was touching on his little sister and doing things to his little sister. And and Nature Girl invited him to join his cult. So he has no problem with pedophiles being in his cult. The one that, yes, an older woman died while she was out there. She was metabolically unhealthy, you could tell, because she was obese. But he put her on that diet. You know what I'm saying? They were all on that diet. They couldn't eat meat. You know, they had to eat alkaline foods and, you know what I'm saying? Understand something. You have to have a pH balance. You understand? These people that tell you to go alkaline, you are not being balanced. So when you eat too many alkaline foods, you become too base. You understand? Base is the opposite of acidic. When you become too base, that's bad for you as well. You have to have a balance. Your pH should be balanced. It should not be all the way base, which alkaline foods will do. You got to have a balance of acidic and base and alkaline. Yeah, I remember that when he argued with the young Pharaoh, bro should have been put under the jail for saying, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'll just say the United States justice system is not very hell-bent on putting away child sex offenders, because a lot of the elite motherfuckers are violators of children. And if they get caught, they don't want to have to go through long sentences. They want to be able to get the 3 years probation and all that other shit. Now, certain states don't play that. Certain states will put you up under the jail. But as you can see in Florida, you know, where brother Pedo Light got convicted, you know, he was able to manipulate the system in order to just do 7 years. And if he does not violate the terms of his release, he's able to not be considered a sex offender. You know what I'm saying? That shit should not be able to be done. And just like Mighty Mouse, right? Minor Mouse, not the UFC fighter, the fake MMA fighter, Minor Mouse. He was able to plead. He pled guilty to sexually abusing a 14-year-old and only did 4 years in prison for it. So these are things that should not be able to be done. But because so many of the elite class are into that sick shit, they don't want to get caught and have to, you know, spend all that time in prison. They don't want to go to prison for life if they get caught. So of course, they are going to pass laws and, you know, set up the justice system to where pedos are able to get lesser sentences at the judge's discretion. Like, they're not going to be mandatory sentences for child sex offenders like there are for marijuana users. You understand what I'm saying? You see, look, the 94 crime bill, it made it possible for the system to put away people for having marijuana for a minimum of 5 or 10 years, depending on the state. It gave them the capability to set mandatory sentences for an ounce or a third of an ounce or a quarter of cocaine or whatever the fuck it is. You're going to jail for a long time. From what I know, they did not pass any law that would set mandatory sentences for child sex offenders. To my knowledge, I don't know anything about that. Now, there might be states where they don't play that, but, you know, the judge in Nature Boy's case, you know, she threw the book at him. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't have to. She didn't have to. She threw the book at him. But unfortunately, he gets to live for the rest of his life in prison, and we had to pay for it. So, unfortunately, he gets to, you know, he gets to live. But I don't think there's a mandatory sentence. And plus, what he got charged and convicted of was not for a child. It was for a grown woman. But nonetheless, even for a grown woman, if you do that to a grown woman, you should still be put to death, period. Yes, swapping wives, unprotected. Well, not really swapping wives. See, I watched a lot of videos. I forgot who the young lady was that did so much extensive content on Nature Boy. They weren't so much swapping wives. Nature Boy was just taking dudes' wives. Just taking them whenever he felt like it. So it wasn't no swap. It was a one-way transaction. He got to bang dudes' wives. But they didn't get his wife. So there might have been swiping among the beta males in his camp, but he definitely did not give up his wives to anybody. Jay with Open Eyes 4 says, why do people still not understand our blood pH is regulated anyway by the kidneys and lungs? So different areas of our body will have certain pH, which is why your body have a universal pH doesn't make sense. Universal pH, what do you mean by that? It's only possible to change your urine pH, for example, because that's how your blood pH is maintained through the kidneys and urine. For example, like you can't have universal pH throughout. Oh yeah, exactly. So this is the problem I was having, right? Yeah, stomach acid, you need acid to replenish your stomach acid. You need that. You know, they tell you, oh, go alkaline. Well, if you go alkaline, you're not gonna have much acid. The acid in your stomach is gonna be very low, and you're not gonna be able to break down the foods properly. And what does that mean? That means your body cannot absorb the nutrients from the food properly. And if your body can't absorb the nutrients from the food, well, guess what? You're gonna be malnutrition. You're gonna be malnourished, like the fucking melanated group or whatever the fuck Nature Boy's group is. They all look sick, gaunt. They don't look strong. They're skinny, but they don't look powerful. They don't look like they can do much. Soft ass chest on the men. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched some of the videos. Nature Boy, before he did all that and went to South America and started doing all that, he looked pretty healthy, pretty ripped, you know what I'm saying? He was always thin, you know, but you could tell that he had some musculature and all that other shit. But now if you look at him and you watch, you see the catabolism going on. You see the his muscles getting eaten away at. And you need muscle. You need muscle. Your muscle houses a lot of nutrition. Your muscle is where a lot of nutrition is partitioned and housed. You know what I'm saying? Bring back Chelsea King case. Dude had already been locked up for assault. A minor's California law said he had to be let back out. He got out without being monitored and start offender to unalived. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I said, a lot of these states are allowed to do soft-ass sentencing to child sex offenders. I did a live stream a while ago talking about how children is the least protected class in the United States. It's not black people. It's not white people. It's not Hispanics. It's not any other race. The children are the least protected class of people in the United States. And this is proof positive by what you see with the immigration, right? A lot of these children are put into the system because they come over here with people that aren't their parents. And so the system takes them and distributes them into the sex trafficking and labor trafficking rings. Yes, children are the most targeted group and the least protected. So that means that your children are the most fucked. It's a reality. We don't go through nearly what a lot of children go through. Millions of children a year, all over the world. They go through shit that you couldn't even imagine. The shit that we bitch about, man, shit. These children are going through it. The least protected class, not only in the United States, but in the world. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna get off this. Unfortunately, nature girl survived and will continue to live his life in prison, where we will pay for his lifestyle, where we will pay for him to eat and survive. And unfortunately, but hopefully one day, true justice will ring for that motherfucker, and we no longer will have to foot the bill. So with that, I'm going to say peace, much love, like, share, subscribe.